Love has its limits. And when it comes to spy circles, this probably includes honey traps. You know the stratagem used by intelligence services, where spies exploit romance to gather secrets. Now it's evolving with modern times. Reports say Russian spies are using dating apps. They're targeting German politicians and soldiers. They're trying to get intelligence related to the war in Ukraine. And we'll talk about it tonight. But this strategy is not unique to them. And it's not new. Spies across countries and centuries have employed this method. In fact, honey trapping has existed for longer than you may think, probably longer than most Valentine's Day traditions. And history has some of the finest examples. Here's a report.
Love them or hate them, dating apps have become the reality of modern love. Most of us are mining them for romance, but some are doing it to topple governments and gain inside information on wars. People are spying with a swipe, and government officials are stuck in honey traps. We're talking about Russian spies. They're using dating apps like Tinder, swiping left and right, forming connections online, reportedly doing so to gain intelligence, mainly on the war in Ukraine. According to reports, their targets are German politicians and members of Bundeswehr, that's the German armed forces. Russian spies are trying to recruit them as sources of information. Why is this? Because Germany has been one of Ukraine's allies. Thousands of Ukrainian troops have been trained in the country. So for Russian spies, Germany is the obvious arena. And the German Federal Office has reports. Tinder is one of the most used platforms for this. But spies are also using social media to forge connections. And Russian spy levels are rising in the country. Germany now has as many of them as it did during the Cold War. And Russia is no stranger to openly using data from dating apps. It already uses Tinder to collect the data of its own citizens. Dating apps have also forged a connection with the war in Ukraine. Tinder users can pay for a feature, which allows them to talk to people in different countries. Some people are using it to speak to users in Russia, asking them about the war in Ukraine. So honey trapping and war share quite the love story, and it's been going on for decades now. Here are some examples. Mata Hari from World War I. She was a Dutch exotic dancer, convicted of spying on Germans. Later, she was tried and executed. Or look at the Cold War. The Soviet Union had a clandestine academy. It trained young Russian women in the art of honey traps. But don't misunderstand, both men and women are adept at setting a trap. After the Berlin Wall was built in 1961, male East German spies honey-trapped officials from the western parts. Honey trapping is a tool of choice in modern warfare too. Only now it's done on online dating apps. Last year, an Indian man was arrested for helping a Pakistani spy. They were in an online relationship, and he had no idea about her identity. During the same year, Australia issued a statement. Foreign spies were reportedly using Tinder to obtain sensitive intelligence. In 2020, the US said foreign intelligence services may use data from dating apps. And China is not far behind. Its honey trap is so vast, Britain's MI5 has a 14-page document of safety protocol against it. When it comes to honey traps, there are far too many stories, too many dramas, and many ruined lives. No amount of training, integrity, patriotism, and cleverness has acted as a defense against them. The victims refuse to believe the reality, even when presented with evidence. That's exactly why honey traps have a legacy of being successful. Remember, in this battlefield of love, your next match could be a spy. So if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.